culture, dignity, and love. Riches to rise. We were once rich, now we are in rise. Riches to rise. Now we're kneeling. Welcome to Reflections. I'm your host, Patrick Tomlinson, and this is the second in a series of interviews with the Honorable Leleand Hazlewood. Last time Mr. Hazlewood was here, he was talking to us about some of his experiences in the role as a development expert in Africa, and I just wanted to ask Mr. Hazlewood to go a little bit more into some of his experiences. So I thank him for taking the time out of his schedule to return to share with us some of his most interesting insights. Welcome again, Mr. Hazlewood. Welcome.
Thank you very much for inviting me back.
Okay, the last time we were here, we were talking about two particular projects. Your time in Mauritania and Burkina Faso. But you are also you're a member of the Overseas Private Investment Corporation's mission to Africa. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and what does that entail?
Yes. The United States became interested in Africa. This was in the late 1976. And they
more interested because they're always interested in Africa.
Interested in finding ways to support businesses, business investment, U.S. businesses. So they organized a mission to look, at least to get some idea what the business opportunities, investment opportunities were in Africa. And I became part of that mission. It was a small mission, about 12 business people. And it was the very first mission to Africa for OPIC. So I'm really very proud of that fact.
So you're a trailblazer.
Right. And, and we visited 4 countries: Ghana, Cameroon, Nigeria, and Cote d'Ivoire.
This is on the west coast of Africa.
It was to West Africa, right. It was a mission to West Africa. And those were the 4 countries that were chosen. And we met with government officials, the presidents of the countries, the heads of their industry development, and they tried to show what they had to offer and the types of incentives and so on that they would offer potential foreign investor. And so it was a short mission, not more than 2 weeks to the 4 countries, so that it was an overview, just trying to get a feel of the environment and what opportunities might be in those countries.
Okay. Okay. Was there any sort of report that came out of that? So it was an exploratory mission.
It was an exploratory mission, and of course, yes, there was a report. Within OPIC itself,
right,
and companies who had gone made their own personal decisions as to what opportunities they saw, or areas that they might want to go back and explore. Yeah.
So, over the years, your interaction with these various countries and their officials led you to write a book. Okay, it's called "The Ultimate Guide to Doing Business in Africa: Nuts and Bolts of Succeeding in Business." Very fascinating. Do you want to just give us a few highlights of the book? What are some of the issues that you highlight here?
Yes.
I notice.
Well,
Africa's position in global business, So it's so much in the short space of. But if you could take
Sure.
a few minutes to tell
I
us.
could do it. Well, first of all, I want it to be a practical book,
Right.
not a
Hands-on. Right.
not a theoretical academic treatise.
Right. Okay.
I looked at it as me, as a businessman, and what a
Right.
businessman would want to take a look at. And the first part of the book was to dispel a lot of the images that there is. It's almost an extension of the children's book. That you think this is Africa.
A children's book for adults.
Right. You think that this is Africa, but you don't really know Africa. Yes, Africa is starvation that we see, and famine and so on. Yes, Africa is Ebola and whatever, but that's not all. 6 of the fastest growing economies in the world are in Africa.
That's Nigeria.
No, not Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the slow growers.
Slow. Oh, okay.
There are other ones, and that has been consistently the case. And when the United States is struggling to get 1.5–2% growth, Europe is struggling to get 1% growth.
Right.
Africa is at 5%.
Some are 7%.
Yeah, but some countries, for instance, Rwanda was 7%.
Right.
But I'm saying on the average for the continent, only next to China, only next to Asia, that was propelled by China, that was growing at 10% at the time.
Right.
So that if you're not aware of this, you're missing out on a lot of opportunities. See, and the fact is this. These are new countries. These countries are less than 60 years, less than 2 generations since the end of colonialism. They're now positioning themselves, getting themselves together, trying to fulfill their aspirations. And so they're looking for some of the same things that we're looking for, in terms of some of the material things, commodities, and what have you. So if you're not plugged into that, you're losing a significant market because it's 1 billion people on the continent that's growing very fast. When I was in Mauritania, in Rwanda, okay, I at the investment promotion agency for Rwanda, the Rwandan Development Board, we would be visited from business people from China, from Korea, the Middle East, and some Europe. And the only people I'd see from the United States would be college students who want to write a case study or something for the MBA degree or something like that, which was really pathetic. And so that I felt that we here in the United States could be doing more to promote opportunities in Africa. And there are a lot of things that are being done, but I think more could be done in a more effective way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you maybe highlight a couple of sectors that you think the average businessman, if there is such a term, should be looking at in Africa, whether it's services, data entry, just 1 or 2 sectors that you think?
Well, it would really vary from country
to country.
And the needs are so great. And as I point out, I sort of went off track, that you don't necessarily have to be on the cutting edge. What is state of the art here might be innovative over there.
Right.
So that if it conforms to the cultural norms, if it fits into the cultural, and the prices are right and that type of thing, there is opportunity.
Right.
But you cannot just sit here and speculate on what you think Africa is about. You got to jump on the plane and you have to go.
And you have to get somebody who knows what it is on the ground, like experts like yourself, to help to navigate them. I noticed. Well, you brought a couple of pictures, which I wanted to.
But let me say one more thing.
Go ahead,
about
sure.
the book. Yes, there are obstacles, there are problems, but the opportunity is really, really great.
Okay.
And this is what a lot of businesses don't realize, that there are facilities to mitigate the risks,
Such as?
like the multilateral organizations, like the IFC,
International Finance Corporation.
International Finance Corporation, MIGA, the multilateral guarantee, which would reduce some of your risks.
Right.
There's similar institutions in the African Development Bank. There are a lot of similar institutions coming out of the United States if you're a U.S. company, out of the United Kingdom if you're a United Kingdom company, out of Denmark, So, and I write about those types of things because sometimes you're going to do a joint venture. If you're a U.S. company and you know that you could have certain benefits from OPIC or from wherever in the United States, you might want to joint venture with a Danish company because the Danish government gives certain types of facilities.
Right.
So you have to be familiar with those types of things,
Okay.
to reduce your risk
in
going into the country.
Excellent. So we have a couple of pictures here which I'd like to go through quickly. Very interesting pictures. So the first one is, you're right there with Congresswoman Yvette Clarke from Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
Yes, famous family.
Right.
And that is you there at the...
I was president of that organization.
Okay, what's it called?
Guyana, let's see.
GABPC. Okay.
It was like a Guyana bilateral chamber of commerce with Guyana and the United States.
Okay.
Right.
Excellent. Next picture. We have you here at the Guyana Dental School. Is there a dental school in Guyana?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Is this associated with the University of Guyana?
No, I think it's independent.
Independent, okay. Yes. Okay. Later we want to get back very quickly to Guyana. The next one is, you there with Harry Belafonte, right?
Yeah, that was the annual dinner of the South African Chamber of Commerce in America. I was vice president
of that body.
Of that body.
Very good, very good. Next one. And that is with the Honorable
Helen Marshall,
he's the past bar president of Queens.
President of Queens. That was one of the that was her State of the Borough presentation.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Next, we have a very interesting picture here. Those two ladies who are so elegantly dressed.
Yeah.
What country is that?
That was in Nairobi, Kenya.
Okay, that's all the way on the east.
Right.
Okay.
That was at UNCTAD.
Okay, United
14,
Nations
Trade and Development
Association.
Yeah.
Is that it? Next, we have an investment promotion.
That also was at UNCTAD.
In Rwanda.
Yeah, the Rwanda pavilion, the Rwanda's at the UNCTAD.
Okay. Now, I said I wanted to mention to you as someone who was born in Guyana and went on to study development economics about the new oil find in Guyana. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that in terms of how you think it will impact the country, some of the strategies that you think the country needs to embrace and to utilize in order to not make the mistakes of other mineral-rich countries. Okay, I think it's projected to, in the near future, come on with 750,000 barrels of oil, and maybe in a couple of years, up to 2 million barrels of oil per day.
Yeah.
Do you have a little bit of insight that you could share with us and share with your thoughts on the whole issue? I know it's a very big political matter, but from your perspective.
I think it's a blessing that has come to Guyana at this time. And I believe they will be able to avoid the curse.
Some of those pitfalls?
Yeah.
Why?
Based on what I see.
What's your basis for optimism?
They have the the benefit of hindsight. They've seen some of the errors that have been made in some of the other countries, particularly in Nigeria. And based on my observation of the preparations, I think they seem to be proceeding
along the right path.
In the right path. But you know, the wild factor here is corruption. You see, because the corruption is associated with the curse in
yes.
many of the countries.
Right.
That's the wild card. You know, you don't know how the leadership of the country will react when they're confronted with such enormous wealth that they have never seen before.
Right.
And the opportunity to do things. So that's really the wild card. But in terms of the preparation, I think they seem to be going about it the right way.
Do they have, to your mind, a good crop of technocrats that can guide them? Because you're going to need machinists, welders, pipe fitters, economists, accountants. You're going to need a whole slew of people to manage this process.
Well, fortunately, we've got Trinidad that has gone through this process and could be of assistance and have been, you know, of assistance.
Is there reaching out to Trinidad?
Yeah, based on my observation and what has been happening, you have that. And you have the fact that Guyana is part of CARICOM.
Right.
So to the extent that the expertise does not exist among Guyanese, it could be drawn from one of the Caribbean countries or the rest of the world if it's not available in CARICOM. They have sought the assistance of the World Bank and the Commonwealth Secretariat in helping to devise the procedures, and they have been particularly helpful in developing the sovereign fund.
Wealth fund.
Yeah. That legislation passed in January, I think, where they have established that fund. They call it the Natural Resources Fund, to manage the revenues from the oil, royalties, profits, taxes, levies, everything from oil, as well as excess profits in mining, you know, gold and diamonds and so on, and forestry. And based on my reading of the legislation and the details, they seem to have a fairly transparent and structures with the types of checks and balances, committees. You know, it might be under the ministry, but based on my reading, if those regs are followed, they are likely to be on the right path, at least for a while. But I say the wild card is the individuals, the human beings. You know, but I have the feeling, but it will draw. The country will need a lot of expertise, and a lot of fast movement in diversifying the business infrastructure and the business institutions.
One of the interesting things, if I might interrupt you, is that I don't think the U of G or the University of the West Indies in any of the member nations has concentration in mining engineering, and we have had mining in all the not all the territories, but the major territories for over maybe close to 50 years now. Is there any effort to establish like a mining faculty at the U of G or within the...
I don't know if they have mining, but I think they have an engineering faculty.
I think they might have... Trinidad might have petroleum. I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
But I don't think we have anything like...
There was an engineering faculty, but not mining, you know, in Guyana. Because that's one of the things that I did when I was the consul in South Africa. I hooked up the University of Pretoria with the University of Guyana, because and I did
what benefits?
Well, because the University of Pretoria, they did a lot of the research for the mining industry in South Africa.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I selected them. I did a lot of research to see which university I should do that with the hope that they could be
academic
exchange
links.
of information, academic links, and so on, because South Africa has such a highly and well-developed mining infrastructure.
Right.
Yeah.
And how is that working out so far, based on, I mean, for what you've heard?
Based on what I have learned, they haven't taken full advantage of it.
So there's still room for growth.
There's a lot of room for growth. I spoke to the new Guyana ambassador there because he succeeded me. They established an embassy later on. And I told him about it, and I knew I introduced him to the people, and I think he was pursuing it.
Right.
But yes, there's going to be need for a lot of skills. Exxon is doing some of that, some of the skills that they need, setting up training, but there's going to be a need for a lot of skills in the petroleum industry as such, as well as other industries that should not be neglected if they are going to avoid the Dutch curse.
Okay, which is, you want to maybe mention?
Well, they need to develop their agriculture now. They need to expand mining, to in a more organized way. Yes, at one point Guyana had the largest gold mine in South America. Okay, that was the Omai mine. But that mine has been exhausted, and a larger mine has come on stream in Peru and in Brazil. But there are a lot of small miners who could grow if they had more scientific approach to it. And let me give you an example. In South Africa, when you look at a potential mine, a potential investment there, you have done the type of, or at least the type of research has been done, which tells you that you have an estimate of how much minerals you're going to get off of it. You could price it, you know the life of that mine, if it's going to be 15 years, 10 years, or whatever, so on. That's not the case, because Guyana doesn't have the resources to do that detailed research to present to investors. Now they will have the resources to do that detail, so that the gold and diamond mining could be more effective, and other minerals that are there in quantities there will be able to define them, for investment and opportunities.
Okay. Well, we have a short time left, and there was so much to go through. I just wanted to ask you if you wanted to, again, take 2 minutes to summarize for us your thoughts on, because you have such a tremendous amount of experience and insight into the whole process of development economics, and you're an entrepreneur and businessman yourself. So I just wanted to ask you to take maybe a few brief moments to share with our audience anything that you might want them to know, anything that you think we might have omitted or not, emphasized enough in closing.
Yeah. Well, I think Guyana's good luck is also good luck for the rest of the Caribbean.
I think so too.
Because Guyana is part of CARICOM. And it happens to be on the continent of South America with a great deal of potential for opening up that whole northeastern corridor of South America. So there are single market arrangements, tariff arrangements with CARICOM countries, which opens up possibilities for businesses in CARICOM. I think they should take a harder look at Guyana, because opportunities are going to be opening up there. But there is a road that will be going through to Brazil. We've been talking it for a long time, and they've been building peace. The Brazilians built a bridge over a small river in the southern...
Is this a road from Guyana to Brazil? Through Brazil?
Yeah, through Brazil.
Okay.
You see, because you could open up the whole Amazon. This is a road that would lead you all the way down to Manaus in the heart of the Amazon.
Right.
You see, there is a road already from Manaus to Boa Vista to Bonfim, which is just the other side of the river from Guyana. The Brazilians bridge, a very modern bridge. And the road from there to Georgetown, on the port and the Atlantic Ocean, could be improved. Once that improved, you develop a lot of opportunities in terms of reducing the cost of mining, agriculture,
And
transportation. Then you're building communities along the line of the road and things like that. So a lot of variety of business opportunities come.
Right.
And this is happening. Guyana will now have the opportunity, using its own funds, even though I don't think they should do that. They should leverage the funds and to build the road. But what the CARICOM should now be aware of with this possibility, these possibilities is IRSA. The 12 South American countries have a project called IRSA, which is the integration of what does it mean? Of infrastructure of South America, right? They have like 6 regions and of projects that they have approved. This road has been approved. The bridge, Brazil have been approved. So that there's a potential for opening up the northern part of Brazil, the Roraima province, the Amapá province, all the way down to the Amazonas province, which open up to a whole lot of business opportunities.
Excellent.
Extension of improvement of ports, and that's another approved as part of that infrastructure.
Okay. Well, the clock is up against us. Mr. Leland, a very fascinating insight. And if anybody wants, I'm sure our viewers and listeners would want to know how to get in touch with you. We have your contact, right?
Yes.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely. And I want to thank you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, you have had a very fascinating guest, the Honorable Leland Hazlewood, who is an international business consultant. If you need to get in touch with him, you'll see his particulars. And I want to thank you once again, Mr. Hazlewood, for appearing on Reflections. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tomlinson. It's been my